I am fully aware of the pressures that dairy farmers face right now. I am committed to working with all of the players in the sector and with colleagues in this House and colleagues at the European Council of Ministers level and at Commission level to address these issues to ensure that we continue to have a sustainable dairy sector going forward. Food commodity markets, including dairy markets, have been characterised by significant levels of volatility for a number of years. This trend has continued throughout 2015 and into 2016. Factors contributing to this in recent times include the Russian ban and the softening of Chinese demand on the one side. And it's interesting to remember, in fact, that China is now about to become the second largest market for our dairy produce. From a standing start only a few short years ago, it's now the second most important destination for dairy markets. The Russian ban, the Chinese softening of demand, coupled with increased production among key global producers, including the European Union. The longer-term global demographic, growing population, and demand perspectives remain positive, but 2016 will be an extremely challenging year for the dairy sector in Ireland and elsewhere. Market volatility provides extremes at both high and low prices. The challenge for the dairy sector is to ensure that farmers are equipped to deal with downward price volatility when it occurs. There is no magic bullet on this issue. The reality is that a combination of measures, both public and private, will be required to protect farmers from the worst impacts of this volatility. Farm efficiency is one element of the solution. In Ireland, we are blessed with a cost-efficient grass-based production system, and my department will, through TAGASC, through knowledge transfer groups and through bodies such as the ICBF and Animal Health Ireland, continue to invest significant resources in providing farmers with advice and technology designed to improve farm efficiency and reduce production costs. The objective is to make farm businesses more resilient in times of downward price pressure and more profitable and competitive in good times. I've also called on the EU Commission to temporarily suspend anti-dumping tariffs on imports of fertilisers from third countries in order to reduce input costs for Irish farmers. That we estimate would save an additional €14 approximately per tonne, and that would be significant on any holding. The single farm payment provides some measures of income stability, and EU market support measures also have a role to play. At EU level, Ireland has been to the forefront in calling for the deployment and extension of market support measures. This has resulted in the extension of measures such as aids to private storage and intervention for skim milk powder and butter. It has also resulted in additional direct payments of €27.4 million for Irish farmers, which was co-funded by the Exchequer and the European Union. In relation to direct payments, I have asked the Commissioner to make the maximum possible provision for advance payment of the €1.2 billion in direct payments to Irish farmers. I believe that this would be a particularly useful measure to improve cash flow for farmers at this time. I also believe that we should seek EU funding for further direct targeted aid for dairy farmers. I acknowledge that finding these funds within the European Union budget will be a real challenge, but in the very difficult circumstances in which our farm families now find themselves, I am determined to exert the maximum possible pressure on this point. In relation to intervention, I recently asked Commissioner Hogan to increase the volume of skim milk powder that can be purchased into intervention at a fixed price, and I understand that he has now signalled his intention to increase the skim milk powder volume from 218,000 tonnes to 350,000 tonnes, and this is a welcome development.
Thanks, Minister.
These measures are not enough on their own. The dairy sector needs to look at the development of new tools, including fixed price contracts, futures markets and more flexible financing arrangements for farmers. Many processors are using fixed price contracts. Some are working on the development of this kind of market price indices needed to support futures trading, and others have developed imaginative bonus payments and financing solutions. I would like to see more of this. I expect all of the stakeholders in the sector, including processors and banks with whom I am meeting, and I refer to the point raised by Deputy Cahill, I will be meeting the pillar banks on the issue of financial pressures which farmers are facing in the coming days. I have just one paragraph, if I might read it into record. As one of the proposers of the Dairy Forum, my goal is to ensure that it continues to provide a vehicle for constructive engagement in terms of relevant issues of concern to farmers and others in the sector. In this respect, the Forum has come forward with some good initiatives for farmers already, including an initiative on improving cash flow planning at farm level, which will be rolled out shortly. I can assure the House that I will continue to engage constructively with all of the stakeholders in the sector to ensure that Irish dairy farmers are well positioned to deal with the current market difficulties and take full advantages of opportunities when markets recover.